This is the KSAN Storm Team Severe Weather Special, sponsored by Big Country Equipment.
Welcome to the KSAN Storm Team Severe Weather Special. I'm Chief Meteorologist Aaron Ayers.
And I'm meteorologist Brittany Lawrence, and we here at KSAN News are keeping you weather aware throughout the severe weather season.
That's right, Brittany, and we want to keep you prepared and informed, not scared this severe weather season. And to do that, we're going to kick it off with meteorologist Brittany Lawrence as she takes a look back at the Texas severe weather climatology.
Let's take a look, guys. When you think of Texas climatology, you also think about the severe weather season. Warm temperatures and warm weather bring in better chances for thunderstorms. You get long durations of rainfall, and also you get flowers blooming, but also the risk of getting severe weather. As severe weather strikes, it can bring in many impacts that affect us every day. The month of March may kick off the start of severe weather, but the most active month for severe weather and the chance of seeing the most tornado reports is in May. You can still have active weather all year round in Texas, but some things come easier in the spring and early summer months, like in the month of June. These active storms bring along potential for hail as well, and hail can be very damaging, resulting in damages to homes, carports, businesses, and windows. Hail is mostly common in severe storms, resulting in thousands of damage, and can also be a financial burden on those without insurance coverage. Hail reports spike in the month of May, but also range throughout all the year when severe weather arises. Severe weather is very common across many areas of the United States, and here in San Angelo, we have had our fair share of severe weather as well. I have narrowed it down to 3 events that I think most viewers will be most pleased with and may remember here in the Concho Valley. Let's take a look. Our first severe weather event is the damaging wind event that impacted the Concho Valley on June 23, 2017. Damaging winds can be far more dangerous than a tornado, bringing many casualties and also damages. Some damages include power outages, trees down, and also some roofing and housing damages. The setup initially began with a dry line overtaking a passing Pacific cold front, and earlier that day, meteorologists noticed on the upper level sounding that this severe weather event could bring damaging winds. Earlier that morning, a sounding from Midland, Texas showed an inverted V feature, which is usually associated with downbursts and microbursts. This was an early indicator for this storm event, as it brought in severe weather storms and some winds into the Concho Valley. Most meteorologists look for this V feature because it's also good at detecting microbursts and also helping us prepare for the gusty winds and severe weather throughout the Concho Valley. The system began with 2 independent clusters of thunderstorms, and as time went on, both the groups of thunderstorms formed the gust front ahead of the storm. The huge outflow boundary was the perfect setup for straight line winds, and these winds were on a scale of a tornadic experience, topping out at 84 miles per hour, and the system brought along heavy rainfall and some of the damages around the city, including power lines and trees, structures blown over, and damages to roofs and homes. Our next event took place in the springtime, and many of you San Angelo residents will know it well when you hear it. It's the May 21st, 2020 hailstorm. This hailstorm was very impactful for San Angelo, dumping hail in all different sizes across many residents' homes and businesses. Here's how the setup began. The storm remained stationary for an hour and 30 minutes, producing large hail and damaging winds that impacted many of San Angelo's residents. Sizes of hail range from golf ball size and teacup sizes to even tennis ball sizes. Many of you could recall yourself going outside to see the storm's destruction. This system had some really strong winds and updrafts, which are important in hail formation. The stronger the updraft, the bigger the chance for the larger hail, and ultimately, the bigger the destruction. By the afternoon, thunderstorms had merged together, forming one big band of heavy thunderstorms that included heavy rain and creating large bands of hail with all different sizes. The warm temperatures along the dry line and the cold front setup helped to keep this storm alive, and many San Angelo residents witnessed the hailstorm destruction firsthand. As many of their homes and yards became full with the little chunks of ice, many could only watch and stare as many more fell from the sky, hitting their cars, windows, and roofs of their homes. Damages after the storm consist of many cars with hail dents, windows shattered, and roofing damage. The hail size ranged from as small as golf ball sizes to baseball sizes in San Angelo, and this storm was truly impactful, and many San Angelo residents will remember it forever. Coming up on the KSAN Severe Weather Special, we'll dive right into the science behind severe weather and learn how severe storms form. Severe storms bring all types of impacts, such as flooding, hail, gusty winds, and tornadoes. Texas is familiar with all these types of impacts, especially during the spring and summer months. The main ingredients for severe weather includes a Pacific cold front, a dry line, and a warm front. The warm front helps bring the warm waters from the Gulf, which usually inflows with warm and humid air. A dry line can have dry and hot air behind it, and it usually starts as the uniter for severe weather and severe storm. The cold front helps activate these storms further, and then eventually has cold and dry air that lays behind it, which help clear things out once the severe weather has passed. A dry line can move from east to west, back and forth in a swaying motion, which can help spark severe storms. As these storms get more severe with the lift from the cold front, you get thunderstorms that form. Severe thunderstorms bring one impact that we can't fail to mention, which is lightning. And sometimes we kind of forget about it, but lightning can be very dangerous. Let's look at my friend Jacob here. He decided to stay outside during a thunderstorm for too long. As a result, he gets struck by lightning. Now, this may have been a common mistake for Jacob. He could have been going to the store, camping, looking up for just curiosity. Regardless of the reason, for his sake, he's almost likely severely injured or dead by this lightning strike. Never stand outside during a thunderstorm. It's best to proceed inside or stay in your car. If you thought standing under a tree was a better option, you are wrong and sadly mistaken. Lightning can strike trees as well and things underneath them. If the lightning itself doesn't injure you, then the tree being struck will. So when you hear thunder, go indoors. Most of us have looked in the sky and saw the lightning's beautiful display as it sparkles and lights up the whole night sky. But actually, this is a dangerous situation to be in. Lightning can strike trees, houses, and even people. So it's best to just stay indoors. Lightning also comes in a lot of phases. Here's some of them that you should know. Lightning may seem beautiful to the naked eye, but the process is very complicated. It starts with the electrons that begin zigzagging downward, known as the step leader. As the leader nears the ground, it draws a positive charge upward in the opposite direction. As the leader and the steamer merge together, this creates the powerful current that we see. And what we're accustomed of, the flickering, the multiple flashes, is the final stage once the lightning has made contact to the ground from the cloud. There are many types of lightning. The most common is the intercloud and also the cloud to ground lightning, but you can't rule out others as well. All lightning is dangerous, so make sure when you hear thunder, go indoors.
Hell, it can be one of the most terrifying and damaging parts of a severe thunderstorm. The Concho Valley is certainly no stranger to severe hail, but how does hail form and why can it become so large? To better understand this, let's take a look at the science behind hailstone formation. Hailstone formation begins in the updraft of the storm. Raindrops are forced upwards by strong thunderstorm updrafts. These droplets are forced up high into the thunderstorm where temperatures are well below freezing. The droplets become frozen, then begin to fall before being forced back up by stronger updraft winds. This up and down process allows water to collect and refreeze, producing a hailstone. Once the weight of that hailstone becomes larger than the force of those updraft winds, the hailstone plummets to the earth below. Once on the ground, hail sizes can range from pea size to grapefruit size or even larger. Severe hail can range from 1 inch in diameter to as large as 4.5 inches. While hail sizes bigger than a hen egg are very uncommon, they have occurred in the most severe of storms. Tornadoes are considered to be one of the most destructive forms of severe weather on Earth. These violently rotating columns of air are capable of producing significant wind damage and even fatalities. Yet very few storms actually produce a tornado. In order for a storm to form a tornado, it must have specific ingredients in place to do so. The first step to creating a tornado is wind shear. Wind shear is the difference between the winds at the surface and winds at higher levels. Once we have wind shear in place, a horizontal cylinder of rotating wind forms. Then the thunderstorm updraft rotates this column of air vertically. At this point, you would see a wall cloud form. A wall cloud is a low-hanging, rotating cloud in a storm. A wall cloud is the first signal that a tornado may be forming. Then a funnel cloud would begin to descend from the wall cloud towards the ground. Once the rotating column of air touches the ground, it is then considered a tornado. Once on the ground, tornadoes typically only stay there for a few minutes. In rare cases, tornadoes have stayed on the ground for several minutes to a couple of hours. A tornado's EF, or enhanced Fujita scale rating, comes after the storm is over. This is the scale that determines the severity and max wind speeds of the tornado. The EF scale ranges from EF0 with max winds of up to 85 miles an hour to EF5 with max wind speeds well over 200 miles an hour. The scale is based on the amount of damage caused by the tornado, which is surveyed after the storm. The amount of damage caused by a tornado can range from minor damages to complete destruction.
What type of weather causes the most fatalities per year? Is it A, lightning, B, tornadoes, C, flooding, or D, hurricanes? We will have the answer when we return. Before the break, we asked what type of weather causes the most fatalities per year. Was the answer A, lightning, B, tornadoes, C, flooding, or D, hurricanes? The correct answer is C, flooding. Flooding causes the most fatalities per year. Now let's get back to the KSAN Severe Weather Special so you can stay prepared and ahead of the storm.
When it comes to severe weather, one of the first steps in being storm ready is preparing ahead of time. Before a storm ever strikes, you need to know what your safety plan is and where you're going to seek shelter during a storm. Having a plan is an essential part of being storm ready. Your plan should include things like a way to receive emergency alerts, a place to shelter, a family communication plan, and a safety kit. The first step to making a plan is knowing how you'll receive weather alerts. There are multiple ways to receive weather alerts, and having more than one way to get alerts is ideal for your safety. You can stay informed by watching us here at KSAN, having a NOAA weather radio through wireless emergency alerts on your smartphone, or downloading the Concho Valley Homepage app. Severe weather alerts carry terms that can be somewhat confusing. Let's take some time to straighten these terms out and help you understand how to respond to the alerts before the next storm strikes. Let's use tornadoes for an example. The first stage of alerts is a watch. A tornado watch is issued before storms that produce tornadoes. Watches cover large areas and multiple counties. A watch means that conditions are favorable for tornadoes and you need to be prepared to act. When a watch is issued, stay tuned to KSAN and NOAA Weather Radio for further updates. A tornado warning is issued when a tornado is occurring or is about to occur. When a warning is issued, you need to take action. Tornado warnings are much smaller and usually only cover portions of counties. The last of these is a tornado emergency. A tornado emergency is a rare alert and is reserved for times when a dangerous tornado has been confirmed. These are rare occurrences, but nevertheless, they signal a dire need to act quickly to get to safety. When it comes to being safe, being in your car during severe weather is never a good option. Not only can severe storms produce blinding rain, severe winds, and hail, but they can also produce tornadoes. However, if you find yourself on the road during severe weather, here's what you should do. Your best option when driving is to head to a substantial structure. Park your car, get out, and go inside the building. Never attempt to outrun a tornado. If a building is not an option, pull the car over, get out, and lie flat in a ditch or low-lying area near the road and cover your head. One thing you don't want to do during severe weather when you're in your vehicle is to get out and seek shelter under a bridge or overpass like this one. Bridges and overpasses, much like this one, may seem like a great place to seek shelter, but the higher up you go, the stronger the winds get in between here, and the more likely you are to be hit by flying debris. Once you are home or in a substantial structure, your tornado safe place is a basement or a windowless interior room on the lowest level of your home. This could be a closet or a bathroom. During a tornado, you want to put as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. You'll also want to cover your head and protect it from flying debris. A good thing to take with you would be a helmet or a mattress to cover your head. Once in your safe place, stay there until the threat has passed and it is safe to leave. When it comes to seeking shelter from severe storms, a safe shelter or a safe shed like the one behind me is a perfect option for your safety. Above ground storm shelters like this one can save your life during a storm. This safe shed is made of 4-inch steel reinforced concrete and weighs close to 24,000 pounds. The shelter is rated to withstand 3-second wind gusts of 250 miles an hour and has passed debris tests conducted by Texas Tech's Wind Science and Engineering Research Center. Local San Angelo resident and safe shed owner Pedro Montanez gave me a grand tour of his safe shed.
It's completely cement all around and with a metal frame, metal door, and inside it has a light that is battery operated. As soon as you enter and close it, the lights come on. Have filters that are covered with metal, but they have a filter inside so the debris cannot go inside. This shelter was anchored to the ground with 2 stakes in each side, 3 feet long in a cross, a couple of steps away from the house, and with the NOAA radio, it will wake me up and take the family. Let's go. We already have the drill, and as you see, we have chairs, we got cot, we got blankets and water just in case the duration is. We have to spend at least the night. It's comfortable. It is comfortable and it's not as scary as you might think.
While these safe sheds can be on the pricey side, they tend to be more affordable than an in-ground option. Nevertheless, Pedro tells me that the investment in his shelter was worth it, knowing that he and his family will be safe when the next storm strikes.
Which of the following elements classifies a storm as severe? Is it A, winds in excess of 58 miles per hour, B, hail larger than 1 inch, C, both A and B, or D, none of the above? We will have the answer when we return. Before the break, we asked which of the following elements classifies a storm as severe. Was the answer A, winds in excess of 58 miles per hour, B, hail larger than 1 inch, C, both A and B, or D, none of the above? The correct answer is C, both A and B. Winds in excess of 58 miles per hour and hail larger than 1 inch in diameter classifies a storm as severe. Now let's get back to the KSAN Severe Weather Special and learn more about severe storms.
When it comes to prepping for severe weather here in the Concho Valley, there are a few items that you want to put in your safety kit. Let's talk about those. The first thing that you want to have is a Midland NOAA weather radio. It's going to alert you to any type of impending dangerous weather heading towards your house or your family. It's got a loud alarm on it. And another thing that you want to have with your weather radio, or a pack of batteries. This is another thing that you need to have in your safety kit, is a extra backup pair of batteries for your Midland NOAA weather radio. It takes a couple of batteries here in the weather radio here, so you can have that battery backup there as an option if the power were to go out at your house during severe weather, so you can continue to get those life-saving weather alerts from your Midland NOAA weather radio. Another thing that you want to have in your safety kit is some sort of flashlight. This flashlight is very special in that it has a couple of different modes on it. It has the light lantern mode, illuminates a large room or a large space, and then it has a couple of red flashing modes in it. And that will alert people to your location or your position. If you were to get trapped or stuck somewhere or need emergency assistance, this light will light up and will allow people to find you quickly and easily after the storm. Another option that we talk about fairly frequently here is to have some type of helmet. A bicycle helmet like this one is a great option to have in your safety kit. Grab one for yourself, grab one for your kids. That way, if a tornado is heading your way, you can put this on quickly and get to your safe place and keep your head covered from flying debris. Another thing that you want to have, make sure that you have, is that everybody that is in your house and in your safe place has closed-toed shoes, some kind of tennis shoes or something like that, to have on their feet, so that when you come out of your safe place, if there were to be debris scattered about, that you're not going to be stepping in glass or on sharp nails or wood and getting any kind of splinters or any kind of punctures, any kind of wound from debris after the storm. So these are some simple things that you can get in your safety kit. These are the base things that you need. Some additional items that you may want to consider are prescription medication, as well as any type of like cash or documents that you want to keep with you. You might want to consider putting those as well in there. These are just some simple things that you may want to include in your severe weather safety kit. These are the things we recommend here at KSAN that you have in time for the upcoming severe weather season. A Midland NOAA weather radio is a must-have item for your severe weather safety kit. The radio is programmable to your location and will alert you to any dangerous weather impacting your area. I asked warning coordinating meteorologist Hector Guerrero with the Weather Service office here in San Angelo for his thoughts on the best ways to receive warnings.
We were hit by a tornado here in San Angelo just not too long ago. And again, a lot of folks were hit while they were asleep. And I'll never forget that following Monday, all the weather radios were sold out here in town. And let me just remind everybody, it's so important to have at least 2 ways to receive a warning. You know, your smartphone is great, but cell towers can go down, but also that weather radio. Man, it's the best thing because it's like an indoor warning system.
To find out more about Midland weather radios and to watch a programming video, check out ConchoValleyHomepage.com. The Concho Valley Homepage app is a great resource for you when it comes to severe weather. Let's take a look at some of the features that are packed into this app that you can access right on your smart device. The CVHP app is a great tool to have during severe weather. Within the app, you can check the radar, watch our weather forecasts, get current weather conditions, and receive weather alerts for your location. To turn on weather alerts for your location, tap the menu bar in the top left corner. From the menu, tap the bell icon in the top right. Then select Manage Notifications at the top. Tap the switch for topic notifications to on. Tap the switch for weather to the on position. Then enter your zip code or tap Find My Location. Well, that's that. Now that you have the Concho Valley Homepage app downloaded to your phone and notifications turned on, you'll get your weather alerts right here on your phone, and it's a great addition to have to that Midland NOAA weather radio to keep a redundant source of severe weather information flowing to your home. Coming up, meteorologist Brittany Lawrence has tips that will help keep you safe both before and after the storm. That's coming up next on the KSAN Severe Weather Special.
Many of us are accustomed to severe weather. We experienced it growing up or even in adulthood. But how many of us were really prepared for the storm when it happened? Did we plan things out or did we wait to the last minute? Did we play it by ear or did we just follow the weather advice? It's important to know the do's and don'ts before a severe weather event so you and your family can have the safest plans. When tornadoes strike, they can bring damage really fast. So the best thing to do is to be prepared before they even happen. Let's go over some do's before the storm to prepare you quickly. First thing you can do is ready your safety kit. That includes batteries, water, canned food, can opener, flashlight, lighter, cell phone, weather radio. Next, make sure you have your place where you're going to be sitting out the storm already secured. And then lastly, contact family members before the storm, letting them know where you're going to be if you become trapped and needing assistance. Meteorologists are here to keep you and your loved ones safe. If they give you a warning, please take heed to that. Never ignore the signs of a severe weather event or if a tornado is on the ground. This can put you and your family in harm's way. Here are some things that you should not do before the storm. When planning for severe weather, do not ignore the warnings issued by meteorologists. Make sure you stay tuned to the local stations or have your weather radio handy. Do not make plans to leave your home unless it's an emergency or if you fall ill or sick. And also, follow the weather guidelines for severe weather at all times. Never go on your own understanding. A tornado outbreak can bring damages out this world. And now you're sitting in your safe place wondering what is the next steps you and your family should do to stay safe. Here are some do's and don'ts after the storm to help keep you and your family prepared. Remember them well. After destruction is done, if you're able to leave the safe place, do so very safely. Contact your insurance company and check on your family to see if anyone is hurt, and if so, call for help. But remember, don't panic. Panicking is the worst thing you can do throughout the situation. Remember that you prepared before the storm, so you have took the necessary steps to keep you and your family safe. Safety should be on your mind at all times when it comes to severe weather, because doing that can help save your life. Even if you're driving home from work or from school, it's best to be aware of all weather conditions when you're leaving, because it can affect your travel and commute. When active weather or severe storms roll in, it's best to heed these following tips. If there are thunderstorms in your area, it's best to go inside an interior building. That may be a store or your home. Do not hang outside during lightning storms. This increases your chance of being struck by lightning. When you're inside, do not shower during lightning storms. Wait till the storm has stopped or has slacked and there's no longer lightning present within the storm. And also stay away from windows. Severe weather can affect your driving as well. The worst time to drive is when it just starts to rain, because that's the best chance for you to actually start hydroplaning. Most severe weather comes with gusty winds and localized flooding. Flooding can be dangerous and could turn a safe situation into a very dangerous one quick. Let's picture that you're on your way from home and you take your normal route to your house like you do every day. And when you're driving, you notice that the roads are quite flooded. And then you eventually get to a street where you have an overpass and it's flooded underneath. What do you do in this situation? Never attempt to drive through flooded waters, because you never know exactly how deep that flooded roadway may be. And some roadways have currents in them, and if you do drive through them, you could be putting your life on the line.
Well, that does it for this year's Severe Storm Special. Thank you for watching, and we hope that you've learned some valuable tips that you can apply each severe weather season here in the Concho Valley. I'm Chief Meteorologist Aaron Ayers.
And I'm Meteorologist Brittany Lawrence. I hope you enjoyed the show and grab some great life tips to keep you weather aware throughout severe weather season.
And don't forget, we'll be here at the KSAN Storm Team to keep you ahead of the storm.
Thank you for watching the KSAN Storm Team Severe Weather Special, sponsored by Big Country Equipment.